That Shoaib, he had a very good match against West Indies. In fact, one of the few Pakistan batsmen who really looked authoritative in that match.
Bowl him! Tony de Villiers bowls him with his very first delivery. Joy for the South Africans early on. Just look at this. What a magnificent first ball to produce. It pitched outside off stump, came back, went through the gate and bowled him.
Shoaib saw there, standing absolutely baffled. Superb delivery.
They're just saying how well Shoaib Mohammad had batted against the West Indies. His 49 came from just 69 balls, and he was looking in ominous form when he was suddenly dismissed, and that was a big blow to Pakistan then, and certainly it is today. What a fine delivery, hitting the off stump.
This is a very poor start by Pakistan. That first over that Ramiz faced from McDonald, he looked in all kinds of trouble, and then Shoaib out first ball. This brings in Salim Malik.
So Salim Malik, who hasn't been in that good a form of late, and against South Africa in the first match at Kingsmead, he made 14. He made only 1 against the West Indies in Johannesburg. But just look at that delivery, right up to the batsman, and very late, moving through between bat and pad. We've been talking about all those runs scored by Salim Malik. There you see them, 4,312. And he's only 29 years old, playing in his 169th match in limited over international cricket. Ramiz, whose 119 not out top score came against New Zealand at Christchurch last season. That's gone away for 4 runs, and that was a very good shot there by Ramiz, picking it up on his pads and lifting it over the head of the inner ring, and the first boundary of the day.
He's very strong on the onside. It's a beautiful shot, beautifully timed. Tipped away.
He's out. A moment ago, he hit it over the head of the fielder at mid-wicket. This time, straight into the hands of Dave Callaghan. And the second Pakistani wicket is down, and Fani de Villiers has got both of them.
Then it is Ramiz turning it uppishly. No problem at all for the fielder. And that is a disaster start for Pakistan, and an excellent one for South Africa.
It just seemed to bounce a little bit more than he expected, and it hit high up on the bat, and a comfortable catch for Callaghan at mid-wicket. So Ramiz Raja out for 5. That one boundary that he, in this over, clipped over the head of Callaghan. But this time, a more defensive shot, and a comfortable catch for Callaghan.
Javed, what a record he has, both in the one-day game as well as in Test cricket. And this is a situation which is not unfamiliar to him. Once again, Javed coming in a crisis.
6,879 runs. It's the second highest aggregate in limited over international cricket, behind only Desmond Haynes. And that 119 not out, made against India at Gwalior. good many seasons ago, back in 1982-83. Oh, that was a beautiful delivery ball by Alan Donald. Miandad was compelled to play at that, and it left him.
Yes, he had no option but to play at it. Beautiful delivery. He's bowling extremely well down.
Already the umpire's having a look at the ball. And indeed asking for the fourth umpire to bring down a box.
This is what, we've had 14 overs so far in the innings. Pakistan 29 for 2, deciding to bat Wasim Akram on this pitch. And they've lost 2 quick wickets, but Malik and Miandad, the 2 most experienced Pakistani batsmen here for this series, helping to restore some respectability.
So Merrick Pringle armed with a different ball now. Quite brilliantly caught by Dave Callaghan, his second catch in the match. And for a moment, Salim Malik just stood there. I thought he was not going to walk because he wasn't satisfied the catch had been taken, but I think he was so stunned at the brilliance of the catch.
Flicking it off the leg in the air, and another wonderful catch being taken by Callaghan, reminiscent of the McMillan catch. You're right, Malik stood in disbelief. Absolutely magnificent catch by Callaghan, and difficulties now, real difficulties for Pakistan, 29 for 3.
Oh, that's past McMillan at slip, and it's gone for 4 runs. Found the outside edge. It didn't carry to the slips and was just wide of him at second.
A little more movement there from Pringle, and there you see the outside edge. He was just trying to play it out into the offside, and the outside edge from the little movement from that delivery from Pringle. Good bowling from him.
As he does get away, Jonty Rhodes is after it. It's a race between him and the ball. Inevitably, he wins it. But they're going to go back for the third, and they're going to have to hurry. Oh, my goodness me. Brian McMillan dropped the ball, and I think Miandad would have been run out if he'd have caught that. A brilliant bit of fielding again by Jonty Rhodes, and McMillan, a grave error there. Miandad out would have been something special for South Africa.
Superb acceleration at this point from Jonty Rhodes, and the throw extremely accurate.
See, Miandad is late to start there. He would have been run out by a mile if McMillan had gathered the ball at the bowler's end.
Without doubt.
And he's got such safe hands. He's probably got the safest hands in the entire team. He never drops anything at slip. He catches them out in the outfield, and a perfect return from Jonty Rhodes, and McMillan knocked it on, and a lucky escape for Miandad.
A lovely shot by the left-handed Mushtaba. He really has played beautifully since he's come in. He's struck the ball through the offside magnificently, and that was one of the best shots of the day. Straight drive down the ground.
Oh yes, and just the sort of batting that Pakistan really need, because not only have they lost wickets, they don't have too many runs on the board, and the overs are ticking away.
He's hit that very fine, and in fact there was no fine leg. He was more a deep backward square, and there was no hope of getting across to it. So McMillan drifting down the leg side, and Javed Miandad taking advantage of it.
Good to see Javed in such good nick, and this is the sort of situation he's very used to, pulling Pakistan up, rebuilding the innings.
another 4, so this is an expensive over here from McMillan. That's a good shot by Asif Mushtaba, who really has looked 100% since he's come in.
Yeah, it's a very good over for Pakistan, this, and this is exactly what is required at this moment. And I agree with you, Tony. Asif Mushtaba looked fluent from the first ball he faced. He looked in very good nick indeed.
Such as that. And this one will be more than a 2 or a 1. It's a 4, beautifully played to bring up the 50 partnership between the two. Delicate deflection by Javed.
He's such a tremendous improviser, Javed.
Little deflection bringing up the 50 partnership. Run a minute from 75 deliveries. Asif Mushtaba has been no slouch either. It's been a real partnership. So here's Merrick Pringle to Miandad, and pulled away well. This will beat the field out long leg and go for 4. So slightly wayward there, Merrick Pringle. A little bit too short, a little bit too down the leg side, and Javed Miandad puts him away. So a good shot by Javed Miandad, gets him a boundary, as he continues to look dangerous from the South African point of view. Long leg just not being able to get around. In the commentary box now, Trevor Quirk, and with him from Pakistan, Qamar Ahmed.
Thank you very much, Tony. Well, the runs are certainly coming at quite a steady pace now.
Surprisingly, Trevor, for everyone in Pakistan, Javed Miandad was dropped from the World Cup squad, and he was sent as a reinforcement later. And the whole world knows what he did in the World Cup. In fact, he was the most consistent batsman in the game.
Well, certainly selectors do sometimes make some very puzzling decisions. This is whipped away for 4 runs, and very well played indeed by Mushtaba. He gets a pat on the back from Javed Miandad. Donald just straying a little bit, and he whipped it away.
That's hit very well. He really has got hold of that. That's gone. That's 6.
Mushtaba quick to get onto anything short, and he middled that.
Goodness, that's really clobbered down the ground. This fellow now is starting to accelerate and looking very dangerous. He really put back to ball there. Another 4 to Asif Mushtaba.
Pringle over pitching. He doesn't mess around here. Full flow of the bat. Disappeared. One half in his hand, and there's the other half. Indicating to the dressing room he wants the wicket-keeper's bat. Perhaps Latif has nicked Miandad's second bat as the tour has progressed. Watch this explosion. There it goes.
Very unusual to see that. And I don't think there will be many volunteers in the dressing room now willing to lend their bat to Javed Miandad. Souvenir for spectators.
Very hard, and McMillan did
4 runs.
He's such a big man, and to get down the way he does here, fact, he was a chance. One can dare to put it down as one. He hit it so hard. I suppose just technically it's got to go down as a chance.
Yeah, insofar as he's got his hand to it, but that was really traveling. That's exactly what I had in mind.
That's a huge hit. 6 runs. And Brian McMillan's day of misery continues. Right in the groove, and a big hit by Javed Miandad.
Just indicates, Trevor, how set he is, because it wasn't all that bad a ball.
Can Callahan cut it off? He can't. It's 4 more. And Brian McMillan will be very pleased when his last over, his 10th and last over, will be over.
Partnership now over 150, Trevor.
Indeed, that brings up the 150 partnership, and this is a record 4th wicket partnership in limited over international cricket for Pakistan. Up in the air, but it's going to fall safely. And the spin beat Hansi Cronje on the boundary there. And Donald is a bit angry with his fielder there. The way that was hit, it sliced off the bat, and he feels that Hansi Cronje should have realized that there would be plenty of spin, and he should have been running harder to make allowance for that ball spinning away from him. And 4 more runs. Another big hit, and that's 4 runs, 1 bounce this time. And Alan Donald not often treated like that. So another expensive over. 10 from that one so far. It's not over yet.
This has really been a masterly innings from Javed Miandad.
Caught. Came down the wicket of Fani de Villiers there, tried to give himself room to hit over the head of Kepler Wessels. Had extra cover, but hit it straight down his throat. At the end of a splendid innings from Asif Mushtaba.
He had no option. He was being frustrated by that superb ground fielding. He saw all through this over, and he had to go take the aerial route. But what a great innings this has been from him. Well played.
His 4th 50 in limited over international cricket. His highest score ever, beating the 60 not out he made against Australia in Perth. And the important thing about that innings is it came from less than 100 balls. He's 74. And this is how it ended. Nice, easy catch for Kepler Wessels at extra cover. And as you predicted, Omar, Wasim Akram to the wicket.
Yes, makes sense, Trevor. It made sense even 10 overs ago. Arsenal seemed to come in.
Not much of an average to talk of, but he's often had to come in this sort of position. But he has, as you see, a higher score of 86. Just look at that for a shot. 4 of the most glorious runs you'll ever hope to see.
Unbelievable, Trevor. This is what I was telling you about. When you see the master at work, these shots are not in the textbook.
That was quite beautifully played of one of the world's great fast bowlers. Look how he stepped away with that left leg of his to give himself room, and he improvised a shot. It was far too full, really, to play this shorter shot. Oh, but he opened the face of the bat, and that was a delight to watch. And that will be his 100.
Well, Javed.
And I do hope that this border crowd, and believe me, they should be on their feet, because they have witnessed a magnificent innings from the little Pakistani master. And certainly his teammates do appreciate it.
I go further, Trevor. It's been a privilege, really, not only for all those watching him, but even for people like yourself and myself, to watch an innings like this.
And it's been a marvellous innings. His 800 in limited over international cricket. And off goes Wasim Akram. He doesn't wait for the umpire's decision. He gave himself room, and Fanie de Villiers pushed it wide outside the off stump. He flung a bat at it, got the edge, through to wicketkeeper Errol Stewart.
In fact, I don't think the umpire's given a decision at all. I mean, Wasim just walked away.
He did indeed.
It's good to see that.
And a first catch for Errol Stewart in international cricket. And the wicket of the Pakistani captain, Wasim Akram. Miandad opens his shoulders and hits Fanie de Villiers for a huge 6.
Look at that hit off the meat of the bat, clearing the boundary into the crowd.
Fanie de Villiers with the last ball, and it was a full toss that he didn't get hold of it, really. They're going to go for a second anyway. It'll be disappointing if Miandad is run out, which he is, but he had to go and hope that the return would not be good from Hansi Cronje. It was good, and Errol Stewart whipped off the bails, and a pity that Javed Miandad should lose his wicket off the very last ball, but all in the cause of his side, hoping for that one extra precious run. But it wasn't to be. Hansi Cronje with a good bit of fielding, and Javed Miandad run out by a mile. But what an innings.
Yes, what an innings. Hypnotic, I saw a sign then. I think that's the way you can describe that innings too.
Let's have a look at the Pakistan scorecard. And in desperate trouble in the first over, Mohammed was out with nothing on the board, followed by Raja.
Kepler Wessels has a marvellous record. Average slipping down a little bit, but still he's the highest run getter for South Africa in one-day internationals. Many of his one-day internationals, of course, played for Australia. Andrew Hudson, tremendous start to his international career. Of the 31 overs to be bowled, one bowler can bowl 7 and 4 can bowl 6. Oh, that was a really good one. Just a little bit closer than the last delivery to the stumps. Indeed, a good deal closer. That went over the top of the stumps in the end, coming back at the right-hander. Great delivery bowled by Wasim Akram. Andrew Hudson, who made, of course, 93 against the same side in Kingsmead and Durban, the first match of the total international series. Before that, when the Indians were here, he made 108. These are the two best performances by a South African in limited overs internationals. He's bowled him. Wazim Akram has bowled Andrew Hudson, and that's a major setback for South Africa. And the Pakistanis will know that that's the one they really wanted. He's a good stroke maker, but this is how it ended.
Right through him, and batting always difficult on this track. Hudson, uncharacteristically, really going after the bowling very early, but very conscious of the over it, and that good straight delivery from Akram, movement in the air, straight through him.
Well, a couple of overs ago, he beat him with a beauty that lifted over the top of the stumps. This one did not miss, hitting the top of the middle stump. And Andrew Hudson out. So to the wicket, Hansie Cronje at number 3. He's got an incredible limited over record in South African domestic cricket of an average of over 70. So still 163 wanted, and the rate going up at the end of each over. 6.26 now is the asking rate. And although South Africa has 9 wickets in hand, it's going to be very tough. From Bunkers Hill end, Akib Javed to Wessels, and that's 4 runs. It was well up to Kepler Wessels. It was wide outside the off stump. It gave him the width to be able to go through with the shot, hit it over the inner ring. There's nobody on the boundary, and the first boundary of the innings.
Very necessary boundary, and well struck by the South African captain.
And he goes at it again. He's hit this very hard, high and handsome over the scoreboard. A huge 6 from Hansie Cronje.
He struck that extremely well. Cleared the boundary and into the crowd.
Could go for 6 as well. It has. Cronje's second 6, but Mushtaba is signalling 4 to the umpire, and umpire Diederichs now cancels the call and reconverts it to 4. So that counts as 4, not as 6. It looked as if it was over the boundary. In fact, the crowd excitingly indicating it was a 6, and Asif Mushtaba having a good view of it and signalling that the ball dropped inside the boundary as it did. Well, lucky there to get home. A lot of hesitation. Wessels remained anchored at the crease, the non-striker's end. Pakistanis didn't seem alert to it, and eventually they did get the single.
Wessels paying a lot of attention to the ball. Cronje wants to run. Wessels watching the ball all the time, and then nobody wanting to field it.
So some sloppy cricket all round, but nevertheless 1 more to the score. In fact, the scoreboard has given the 50 partnership. They haven't deducted the 2 runs. They gave the 6 and kept it as 6. They haven't deducted the 2 runs. So these two still have to get another 2 runs to add 50, and there they are. So officially now a half-century partnership between the 2 of them, and there are the overthrows, and there's the chair again. So Pakistan just getting sloppy here.
Here's the official partnership of 50 balls.
inside about 5 yards, and had he been on the ropes, it might have been a catch. So Mushtaq comes back, and there's a quick single, and he's out, run out. So Pakistan get a little luck that they needed just at that stage. A little bit slow in taking off, Kepler Wessels. He might have made it had he gone quickly.
See if we can spot any hesitation here. He's called it. Didn't hit the ball, I don't think. Way out. It's not a very difficult decision. Umpire Liebenberg in a good position, square with the wicket, and it's what Pakistan needed very badly was a breakthrough of this partnership. I feel that Kepler thought he'd hit that harder, but he'd rather stunned it into the ground and caught very short at the end of the day. So now that'll bring the local captain of the Border Cricket Union, who play here at Buffalo Park, Peter Kirsten, to the wicket. And his role now is just to support Hansie Cronje, and Hansie Cronje's role is to make sure that he now does not get out. He's in, he's got to try and see it through.
Well, he certainly will, or can take an example from Javed Miandad and Asif Mushtaba today. They batted almost all the way through. Well, Kirsten's come in, he's an experienced cricketer. Played in 24 one-day internationals already since South Africa's return. But of course has also had a lot of experience in county cricket with Derbyshire. And that's a dolly catch, completely deceived by the lack of pace in that delivery, and he just popped it up to Shoaib, and the spectators just can't believe it. It seems such a lollipop delivery.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Is this the beginning of another South African collapse? Just try to turn it on the onside. It certainly wasn't the leading edge. It seemed to go off the middle of the bat, but with no attempted power whatsoever. It went reasonably straight. The mid-wicket fielder, Shoaib, was really quite straight.
Jonty Rhodes has got hold of this one. Another boundary. So things begin to pick up once more for South Africa.
He did well here, Jonty Rhodes, because it looked initially as if he had been done in the flight. The ball didn't seem to arrive. He got down on one knee very early and played the shot late.
Hansie Cronje swings us away. Has he got it through for 4? He has indeed. There's two men, Jonty Rhodes rather, there are two men on the boundary, one at backward square and one finer. He got it between the two of them.
Hit that very hard indeed. Neither fielder had a chance.
This is hit up in the air, but it's going to fall safe. In no man's land, 3 of them started converging on it. None could get there in time, and Jonty Rhodes gets away with 2.
Jonty has a laugh to himself there. I think he intended a bigger hit than this. It just bounced, got a little bit high on the bat, which was the best thing for him in the end.
This one he hits better, and that's 4 runs. 6, in fact. He did very well to almost dig that one out because it didn't bounce up very high, and he really slammed that over the boundary rope. And that's exactly what South Africa needed in this over.
So to get down very low to hit that and hit it hard.
Beautifully played, a glorious shot by Hansie Cronje through the covers, hitting Waqar Younis on the up. That was a classical cover drive from Hansie Cronje and a big shot off the last ball of Waqar's over.
Quality, stroke of the day. Stood up, determination on his face. watched it right onto the blade of the bat.
This has been a princely innings from Hansi Cronje, and it's now reduced the requirement to 25 at 5 per over. Let's watch Wasim Akram to Jonty Rhodes. Inside edge into the pads, and they might get an overthrow here. They will. And panic out there amongst the Pakistanis now. Their fielding has not been up to its standard, really, giving away unnecessary runs. And the tension telling.
Oh, there's no doubt here that he should have held the ball. He wasn't going to run him out anyway.
Oh, and he's bowled him. Very good over from Wasim Akram. Ends with the wicket of Jonty Rhodes. I think he was trying to force that maybe just across the line, trying to find a gap, and he missed it.
Akram round the wicket, as he always does in the closing stages, just roll off his pads.
Watch the angle of the bat here, just trying to force it into a gap at mid-wicket, but it seemed to come onto him a little quicker than he expected. Broke back into him and off the pads into his stumps. But as valuable a 35 as Jonty Rhodes has ever played for South Africa. Just 34 balls, 2 fours, and a well-struck 6 of Salim Malik. So 152 for 4 now. And South Africa can be fortunate to have a man like Dave Callaghan to come to the wicket at this stage. He's one who needs very few deliveries to settle in, likes to get on with things from the start, and he's played some valuable innings already for South Africa in the one-day internationals against India when he came into the side. Stump, Dave Callaghan out, first ball, trying an ambitious drive on the up.
So Waqar Younis in swinger, does it again.
Well, it was a magnificent delivery. That is Waqar Younis at his greatest. Just look at this, how it swings in at that pace and goes between bat and pad and trims the off stump. Dave Callaghan out first ball, and suddenly South Africa 154 for 5, and the job a long way from being done. Now, poor young Errol Stewart, just think of it. This is his first match for South Africa, and his heart must be thumping.
Yeah, big ordeal, but he'll relish it, especially if he's there and sees his team through to victory.
Wasim Akram to Errol Stewart. He's caught behind by wicketkeeper Latif. Just pushed forward, found the outside edge, or was he trying to run it down to third man? The slow motion will tell us, but whatever, Errol Stewart is out for 1.
Pushed a long way forward. It looked like he might have wanted to guide it to third man. See if the face of the bat opens. Yes, it does. Latif does the rest.
Well, we all think back to that unbelievable collapse against the bowling of Waqar Younis, in particular at Kingsmead in Durban, when South Africa lost by 10 runs, when victory seemed assured, until that great spell of bowling saw Waqar Younis hit the stumps 5 times in a dramatic collapse. Are we going to live through it all again? Brian McMillan, he's got a very cool head on him, and that's what's needed right now. He's often come in crisis situations, and you see, although his highest score is only 33, not out, he has an average of over 35. That will tell you that he's often there at the end. Field for LBW, and he's gone. McMillan has gone. LBW to Wasim Akram. And the two great Pakistani fast bowlers are once again doing it for Pakistan. High fives all round.
Round the wicket, straight delivery. McMillan gets across to play it on the onside. It's in his crease. It's not forward at all.
So difficult to come in and start improvising with shots into gaps and so on when you've just come to the wicket. You haven't had a chance to see it. That's what makes it all so dramatic. 7 wickets down now. Merrick Pringle. Well, Merrick has got a good eye, and Merrick loves to swing the bat, and he might just be the right soul to come to the wicket at this terrible time.
Well, boundaries are gold dust now. You only have to have 2, one way or the other, off the edge or however, and suddenly the whole thing swings around again. Just to remind you that that is the situation. 15 runs to win, 13 balls remaining. Should the scores be tied, the game is a tie. Wickets do not come into it.
And there'll be more than one here if he hurries. He's got to get back for the second, and he left it a little bit late, and that was naughty. Now, for the first time in this series, the umpire, Carl Liebenberg, has called for the third umpire, Robbie Noble, to make a decision with the aid of the television replays. And if Hansi Cronje is given out, he'll be very, very naughty, because he dawdled the first. He thought he was going to make it comfortably, but this was a fine bit of fielding down on the boundary and a good return. Now, who's going to win the race? It's vital for South Africa, this. The keeper has it, and Hansi Cronje, I think he might have had his bat in the air. It's very difficult to tell here. Maybe, no, he might just have made it. What will umpire Robbie Noble say? It's a terrifyingly close call.
Anxious faces waiting for the light to go red or green. He's obviously asked for another angle.
That was just in the air. That was another problem for Hansi Cronje. And what has happened? It's not out. There's a roar from the crowd. The Pakistanis, they've got the rights mixed up. It's green for go, out, red for stay. And it was red, and Hansi Cronje lives on. And there's 2 more vital runs for South Africa. Oh, there's going to be a run out here this time. Oh, dear, 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 dear me. Salim Malik kept his cool there, kept his head, and Hansi Cronje was stranded by a mile. There wasn't a run really in that. Look at the hesitation from both of them. Not out, says umpire Diedrichs for the LBW appeal, but Malik swoops on it, and instead of having a throw, he just runs to the wicket and removes the bails. And that was silly and could cost South Africa the match.
Absolutely ridiculous, this. Pringle must go now at this stage and try and get past him, because someone's obviously going to be out.
Yeah, there were 2 silly things there. One, the run wasn't on, and when Hansi Cronje or Merrick realized there was going to be a run out, he should have sacrificed his wicket. Magnificent innings, though, by Hansie Cronje. 81 from just 70 balls with 3 fours and 2 sixes. And how disappointed he will be if South Africa does not win this, because he's taken them so close to victory. 10 wanted for victory. He swings this time now. There could be another run out. There will be. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well, we saw absolute panic when Waka Yunus was knocking back their stumps, and we had 2 ridiculous run-outs in that occasion, and here suddenly the panic has set in again.
You know, there's an adage that no one run is worth a run-out, but this is just suicide. I don't know why he threw it. He might have missed.
South Africa, for the second time in this total international series, have lost to Pakistan in dramatic style, just when it looked as though they were going to win. And here, a full toss, that's what it was. He was trying for the one in the block hole. It was too full, and it crashed into the stumps on the full. All too good for Donald, and South Africa have lost by 10 runs, indeed by 9 runs on this occasion. It was 10 runs in Durban.
Let's take a look at the South African scorecard. Kepler Wessels made 27, a brilliant